On today's Pub Talk, we have the All-Star Game, and also Pete Alonso winning the Home Run Derby. We also have the Angels in the outfield night in L.A. Then we will have a little talk on the Espys. We also have the Crazy Horse Monument of Super Bowls and 6 beers to round out the show once again. As always, before we begin, we want to thank our sponsor at Route 11 Chips. Summer brings friends and family together for all kinds of reasons. Cookouts, parties, socials, and maybe you're planning a big summer bash. You're going to need snacks, and Route 11 has been chipping away since 1992. With their secret recipe and superior ingredients, their mission is to make an outstanding product in a safe and clean environment. If you haven't tried their chips, you don't know what you're missing. Quality and flavor packed into every bag. So stop into your local Giant, Martin's, or Food Lion and pick up a bag today. All right, let's get this thing started. Alrighty, people, welcome. Episode number 6 of Pub Talk. My name is CJ, always hosted by the coach as well.
Hey.
And I want to welcome you back, of course. We are Pub Talk, and I hope you will find us on Twitter and Spotify at the Pub QM on Twitter. Also on Spotify at CJ's Pub Talk. That's CJS PUBTALK. And also, we do have a Gmail account. Please email us your questions at thepubqm@gmail.com. Talk to us about what you think should be on the show, and we'll talk about it. We'll see if you're an idiot or you're a genius. We'll talk about it on the show. But on this episode, Pat is not with us today, but we have Biff back because we're being held at gunpoint here, and he wanted to really be back on the show.
He's got a really stupid hat on. Too bad we don't have a fucking camera.
I know. He literally looks like he just got out of a ditch or something with his beard right now.
Hey.
But Biff, welcome back, of course, episode number 6.
Had to park my backhoe.
Yeah.
So
My tractor's parked out back.
So you can see his mouth is full of dip. So let's go ahead and kick off this podcast here. We're going to start off with the All-Star Game, of course, this past week on Tuesday, right before we went to vacation. And the All-Star Game, once again, the American League wins 4-3. And this is the 19th time that the AL have won in the past 22 years now.
They are 11-14 since 2003.
So, for you, I'm sure that's okay, Biff, because you're a Yankees fan, so you really, that's good for you, of course. And then for the NL, what the hell, man? Why is this even an All-Star Game right now, even though it's a tightly contested contest? But, 19 times out of the past 22 years, that's really bad.
Because they don't have the Yankees on their roster, so.
Oh, really? How many World Series have you won?
27.
I meant, no, you know what I meant. You know what I meant.
Oh, he stepped in shit on that one.
Yeah, I know. But this is also the first time, I think, in a long time that the same team, opener and a closer, has gotten the win.
Yeah.
And yet, for some reason, the opener only pitched an inning and got 1 strikeout for your Yankees.
Masahiro Tanaka,
Masahiro Tanaka.
I like his pitching style. I really do. I like his pitching style.
He brings that Japan to America.
And then the loser is good old Clayton Kershaw of the Dodgers.
I know. My boy Clayton, he can't get it done. But, what do you do? He's been there 8 times. You look at the number of times that those guys came. When you look at the stats for the guys that were appearing in their first or their second All-Star game, and then there's Clayton Kershaw sitting on the bench, and it's his 8th in a row. It's 8th time.
And once again, he only pitched 1 inning and got 1 strikeout, and he still gets the
I'll tell you
loss.
what, there's one thing I really liked about this game that I hadn't seen or maybe hadn't paid attention to in the past was the live mics. When they had the Astro players talking on the live mic, I think that would be a lot of fun. If you had a special game or a throwback uniforms, the whole 9, and we're gonna live mic our players, I think that would be really good. That's something that the fans would be really dialed into, especially those people watching at home.
Yeah, I really noticed it. I know this is a little off topic. The celebrity softball game.
Yeah.
Daddy Yankee, his first at bat was a triple, and he had to hold his pants up because the mic box was pulling his pants down as he was running the bases.
He's only good for singing Despacito, I guess, then, if he's not able to keep his pants up.
I just like that portion of the way they interjected.
Wish it was
that
like that for all sports. You could hear him cussing out the refs, motherfucker.
I'd like
a strike, okay?
I'd like them to have it in football, just listening to the contact.
Well, they do with the Pro Bowl.
They do,
and
but
also the mic'd up thing.
And then they do have the mic'd up thing, but it's not very. It's not as consuming as this was. Where they were definitely talking to the players. Mm-hmm. They just throw the mic on the guy and then they cut it into some highlight films and stuff like that, you know.
And also, those networks for the NFL are like, oh, excuse me for that horrible language that man just said. It's like he's playing football. And he's getting his ass kicked by 300-pound men. Yeah, it's okay to cuss once in a while.
Luke Kuechly, I just use him for an example. I mean, that cat's all over the field. You know, he's hustling. You can hear him grunting and everything like that. I'm sorry, but he's playing the game of football and he's talking to other players. He's probably talking some good shit to them, and you want to hear it. And of course, the NFL and CBS, NBC, they would all. His views do not reflect this company.
The opinions of Phil Sims and Jim Nance.
They want these guys to sound like little church choir boys out there on the field.
And they're anything but
But it's
that.
funny you brought up Luke Kuechly. I just seen where the Madden ratings came out, and Bobby
Wagner
was a 99.
Wow. Isn't Pat Mahomes also a 99 as well, I think? Yeah. So
well, they're good. They're good players, man.
I know, but Madden, don't talk about Madden to us. We can't stand that game. Anyway, so
I was going to say one other big thing was the homestanding team was the Cleveland Indians, progressive field and stuff, and Shea Bieber coming out, striking out the side. I kind of like that. I just like.
I don't
that
like
emotion.
the last name, but go on.
Yeah. No, just to come out there, he got his one inning in the fifth, and he struck out 3 freaking quality hitters. One of the guys was in the home run derby, and I just like that. I thought that was special, and you know there are probably jerk offs out there thinking that's rigged, and hey, that's part of the game. They tried to do that and this and that and the other. You know, I was playing Xbox the other day, and some jagoff was talking about freaking how everything's fixed in professional sports and everything.
Yeah, the only thing fixed is WWE.
Right. It was really bad. He was talking all kinds of.
That's the same kind of guy who believes that the Earth is flat and is also an incel. So those are the types of guys you run into.
American League pitchers combined for 16 strikeouts in this game. Incredible. Hey, they're the best in the world. They're the best in the game right now. That's what you almost expect.
And wasn't Araldis able to strike out the last 3?
Yeah,
all 3 batters
struck out the last 3.
Only because CC Sabathia came for the mound visit.
Yeah, he probably cranked one up. I didn't see the total on his miles per hour, but I guarantee you there's probably
102, something like that.
This is going to be his last season.
You think?
Yeah, CC.
No, it's CC's last season.
This was his final.
I wish he could do one more and get close to 300 games.
Yeah. Oh, he's back to where he came from at Progressive Field.
Yeah, that's why he went out in the 9th inning, was to get that final standing ovation from his
good
home
for
team.
him. I mean, he's been a phenomenal pitcher over the years.
He's got a ring. So
I wish he would get closer to 300.
Yeah.
And I mean, he's not too far off.
I mean, look at Albert Pujols. How old is the dude? 54?
Yeah.
And he finally went back to St.
He's
Louis.
back home. Or no,
he finally
LA.
went back to St. Louis.
Angels.
Yeah, he finally went back to St. Louis a couple weeks ago for a standing ovation. And that was
he left the Angels.
a standing ovation. Yep.
Yeah, that's still cool. I mean, I love that kind of stuff. I think that's just phenomenal. You know, he's at CC's at 250 plus wins right now.
That's one more good season, and then the rest of this season.
Yeah, I mean, if you could do 20 wins, 25 wins, that's a lot though. Yeah. That's not likely, but you know, hey, when you're done, you're done, and there's no sense in staying out there. He's battled through injuries.
He's going home, be daddy.
Yeah, but that's good. What a phenomenal athlete. What a great pitcher. I love his freaking in-your-face, I'm here, I'm battling. I love that whole freaking attack mentality.
I will watch when he throws a strikeout. That man has
You know, he
used to be a lot bigger.
Oh yeah, trust me, I know.
He reminds me of like a Rottweiler on the mound. You know, just freaking ready to get after you.
He is all into the game. With a strikeout, you can see he's like Tiger Woods when he hits a hole in one or something. He has got so much emotion towards it.
Yeah, I liked the All-Star game. I thought it was good. There was exciting moments once again about the mic'd up, and then you get some cool things. One for the Cleveland Indians guy that Joey Gallo hits the first pitch home run,
off the bench,
first at bat in the All-Star game, first All-Star appearance, first pitch home run.
Yep.
You know?
So with home runs, Joey Gallo was from Texas Rangers, hit his home run off the bench, and then Charlie Blackmon.
Yeah.
He went 2 for 1 with a home run, but he was 0 for 9 in his All-Star appearances. Yeah. And then he hits the home run.
Yeah. Yeah, you gotta feel good stuff for those guys. They go out there, they put their butts on the line every day.
2 for 1? Don't you mean 1 for 2?
Yeah.
You can't get 2 hits in one.
There's no way.
Biff.
I biffed it.
Did the backhoe start moving on you and you started shifting?
So yeah, let's shift on to the home run derby.
Oh yeah, pretty exciting stuff, man.
Once again, I said this last show. The only shining light of the Mets this entire season has been Pete Alonso. Yeah. And he wins the home run derby. He gets $1 million, put the money in the bank.
And he donated to 2 charities. What was it? Wounded Warriors and Fallen Towers or something like that.
No, he donated to Pub Talk is what he should have done.
Yeah, we could have used a little bit. Maybe we could go with a camera and stuff. Nobody wants to see our ugly faces.
We'll do a live podcast one day.
Live podcast. Yeah, well, that would be nice.
But anyway, I don't think that was the shining example of this home run derby. The shining example was Vlad Jr. versus freaking Jock Peterson.
What a freaking show
in round 2.
What a show they put on. Yeah, I mean, just blasting shots all over the place. The one thing I took away from that is Vlad Guerrero. His freaking swing is from his freaking toes. His whole body is contorted, but God bless, does he freaking swing the bat like a man.
And Jock just looks like a freaking golfer. And
yeah. No, that's one thing Jock Peterson said before he started this home run derby. Last year, he took it way too seriously.
Yeah.
And he said he was just going to go out there and have fun, and look what he did.
Yeah.
He lost. No, I'm sorry.
But I want to talk about that Pete Alonso won, but he hit two RBIs in the All-Star game. And it was one of the only Mets to have double RBIs in a game.
Another shining example of the Mets.
Yeah. Hey, if you go back and you check the record, I think one of you guys would probably hear me say, I could probably go back and pull my old script from last week about Pete Alonso.
20 home runs of 400 feet or more.
And I thought he was a very credible one. I wanted to go with Jock Peterson just because he's a Dodger. But the show that he and Vlad Guerrero Jr. put on was just pure magic.
I wanted Vlad Guerrero Jr. to win because I grew up watching his dad play.
So. I'm sure he did. The only thing that I'll say about Vlad is that he did get into this derby, I think, because of his dad. Because he only had 8 home runs.
He didn't have much to show for this season.
Exactly, and that's what I'm saying. Is should he have been in this? I don't care because I love to see him in this show.
I just couldn't believe there wasn't a single Yankee.
Of course, you can't. Aaron Judge, of course, is
He's been hurt most of the season.
I know.
But Gary Sanchez, he's been off the freaking charts, and you put a guy in who's had 8 home runs all season.
And there you go where you run into a bit of an issue, but then you see what he was able to do.
I think people saw Vlad Guerrero Jr. hitting batting practice, and people were like, holy cow, this kid can freaking...
That's ticket sales.
Right. And so when you put him in there, and he just lit it up. I mean, he hit 91 home runs. 91 home runs.
And he lost somehow.
91 out of, what was it, 3... It was 300 and I think it was 311 home runs
total, and he had 91.
Somehow crazy. Pete Alonso won that.
I think he hit 34 more home runs than the guy who beat him.
Exactly.
I'm telling you, my ass is whooped after hitting freaking 91 home runs.
Well, I think that got him,
and especially if I'm that big too.
Yeah.
Right. And coming down to it at the end, I think exhaustion had to set in.
Yeah, you could tell by his swing. He was beat.
But he had to. He had to freaking go all out because Jock Peterson was stroking, freaking, keeping up.
He was giving him a run for his money. It was 29 home runs each.
Who was it? It was Jock Peterson and Vlad Guerrero that hit in the second round against each other. And who faced Alonso in the second round? Do you know? I can't remember.
Acuna Jr. was it?
Acuna. Ronald Acuna. And the fans were so tired from cheering for Vlad that they're
like, hurry up, get it. We want to get Vlad back on. I think Vlad hoped it would have lasted a little bit
longer. Struck him out.
And Acuna and Vlad were, Acuna mainly was really hoping it was going to be Vlad.
Yeah.
But I'm just saying, the guy that hit 14 home runs to win the first round, Pete Alonso, comes in and wins the whole thing.
Yeah.
It's a little sketchy to me. And Vlad beats two records in the home run derby.
Yeah, he smoked pitches.
3, I think, because he beat the first round home run numbers, the second round, and then the total number.
Total number, yeah. I don't know. I think hundreds, triple digits, the next milestone.
It's going to be a while before someone hits more than 40 home runs in the second round.
They've changed it so much over the years and stuff that
you got the sudden death.
Yeah, I like that. Hey, you get 3 pitches. You know.
Let's see what you can do.
Right, and they had to do it twice in order to get a winner. So
they both hit one.
But I liked it. Yeah. I like that a lot. I think All-Star Weekend for Major League Baseball got a nice shot in the arm.
Yep.
A lot of people were happy.
Yeah, and that continued on to 2 nights ago, where the Angels they finally had a tribute to Tyler Skaggs. We talked about it. Was it last week's show that we talked about Tyler Skaggs passing away?
Yeah.
So last week we did, and finally this past week on Friday night, the Los Angeles Angels had a tribute to him where every single player wore number 45. And also his mom threw out the first pitch. And I got to tell you, I got some Angels in the Outfield fever when I saw this game on the highlights because just the night was so memorable to just the organization, the city, everybody that was involved. And then, of course, everything that happened in the game. You have a combined no-hitter, which helps out a pitcher. You have a it's a 13-0 game, so it's a massive blowout by the Angels against the Mariners. And then you also have all these different stats that start coming out that recognize Tyler Skaggs. You have a home run by Mike Trout that is 454 feet long, which is 45-4, and then it's backwards 4-5-4, so you still got 45. Then you also had the stat, Biff, on his birthday.
His birthday is July 13th, and it's the 13th day. And then in the first inning, they were leading by 7, which is 7th month.
Right.
So the 7th month on the 13th day.
Wow.
And
then score 13 runs.
Yeah.
So tragedy, and you don't want to have a tribute game, and go out there and lay an egg and stuff like that.
Yeah, it's happened before.
I saw one of the coolest photos. I think it was Sports Illustrated had a really, really amazing photo of afterwards. The players went out to the mound and they laid their jerseys on the mound.
Yep.
However tragic Tyler Skaggs' death was, they put a smile on a lot of people's faces, and I really like that. I think it was a special night for the Angels. Maybe this kickstarts them. Maybe this drives them. It's not like the Angels don't have talent.
Yeah, they're not that far behind in the standings either, I think.
So, but yeah, terrible night. But it's terrible that Tyler Skaggs died in the situation.
Yeah, he was 27?
27 years old. Yeah,
he's got
crazy.
A kid at home.
Yeah, bad.
So it was such a memorable night in L.A. Like I said, I got some Angels in the Outfield feeling from that movie, of course. But moving away from baseball now, sports always brings out some of the best awards, and the Espys just happened this past week.
You're not gonna make me cry, ESPN. Eat shit. I'm not crying.
Well, I mean, you can't cry when Tracy Morgan's up there telling jokes.
He's hilarious, yo.
But I wanted to mainly talk about, the Espys are. It's a sad time, especially when I saw the football coach who he doesn't have any arms or legs come out.
I like that though,
and he's a junior varsity head coach for football, and he just loves life still.
Yeah,
he loves life,
yep.
And he came out on stage and he's like, "Who can't stop me? Yeah. Nobody!" Yeah.
I saw I don't know if it was a 30 for 30 or an E60 one of those Tom Rinaldi. Anytime you hear
it was
Tom
on him, yeah.
Yeah, anytime you hear Tom Rinaldi's voice, you probably want to start shedding tears because he's going to try and pull something out and have something. And usually when you watch those shows, they're so well done. And that episode on him and his life and what he's accomplished in his life, no arms, no legs, just amazing message. And that was probably one of the brightest spots I got from the Espys and the Arthur Ashe Award for Courage and things like that. I thought that was pretty amazing. I really enjoyed that portion of it.
Because the thing that made me throw my remote at the TV and want to turn it off was the last award that was given out for the Best Team Award. And the people who were in the category were the Clemson football team, who went 15-0, the New England Patriots, they won the Super Bowl, the Notre Dame women's basketball team, they won the NCAA women's championship. Yeah. UVA, they won their first national title in men's basketball. Yep. And then the women's national team for soccer. Right. And who would have fucking guessed that won the award for best team?
You could see that coming a mile away. Like I said, the message that wanted to be presented was tailor-made for them.
No, I did.
The message that was brought was that we're going to celebrate this because these were the messages that were brought up during the game. You know, these are the messages, and so the part that bothers me the most is when you take a look at what Clemson did this year. Their freaking football program and their football team skullfucked pretty much everybody they played. They dominated everybody. When you go into the national championship game and you dominate an Alabama team en route to a freaking 15-0 season, a national championship, and you put your mark on college football, you will go down in the history of college football as one of the greatest teams ever in college football. With the number of people and the amount of money that's being generated, and you pick the women's national team. And I know it's World Cup soccer, and I don't want to be un-American.
Who gives a shit?
I'm not.
It's soccer.
I don't want to be yeah. But the whole message about
Megan Rapinoe and fucking Alex Morgan and all these girls.
Yeah, Alex Morgan won Athlete of the Year, didn't she?
Yeah.
Yeah, but like here's something that I just hate is that Clemson is the only team in college football history to go 15-0. The only team in college football history to do this.
With a young-ass quarterback.
With a freshman quarterback. And this is also probably going to be – that was probably going to be the last year that we will see 4 teams in the college football playoff. We will most likely see 8 teams coming up here next year.
That'd be nice.
In the college football playoff.
I think more play.
And so when I saw that this was going to be the last time – I was like, okay, it's time to make your mark because this could be the end of an era. And not only did they just win, they only allowed 19 points in the college football playoff. They allowed 3 to Notre Dame and 16 to Alabama. And they won 44-16 against Alabama.
Yeah.
Alabama, this is the team that everybody fears except for Dabo Swinney.
Yeah. Dabo played at Alabama.
So, like, what I'm saying here is that I don't care if it's soccer. Give these other teams a chance. You got to be kidding me that Clemson, who gave probably the better performance on the national stage than the women's soccer team, they only won 2-1. Clemson won 44-16. There was it was over at halftime.
Yeah, I don't know. I felt like there was a message that was trying to be portrayed to the fans of sports, and I don't know. I just don't get it. I don't know. I get the whole.
I'm supposed to care about a team that lost to a U15 boys club soccer
team.
When
you look at the women's soccer team, and granted they're good athletes. Don't get me wrong, they're phenomenal athletes, and they work their tail off and they sacrifice just like anybody else does. And World Cup only comes along every 4 years, so they're giving up a lot. But this whole idea that equal pay for this and that we need to have more. You know what? Earn it.
What was the bald chick's name? The one with the really short haircut.
That's Megan
Rapinoe. Yeah, with like the blue hair.
Didn't she get benched because she kneeled?
I don't know.
But she knelt for the national anthem.
Yeah.
This is on a national stage, and she wants to show her message to the world.
Her political message. And I've said that before. I just want you to play soccer. If that's what you do, just play soccer. I don't need you to be a top-level athlete. I don't need you to be an athlete presenting a message that you also have this political message to give as well. I just don't like that.
I don't need to see that if I'm trying to just root for my country and I see one of my players representing my country kneeling and trying to say all these I'm not going to talk politics, but saying all these things in the media about like we need to talk less and hear more, and it's like then don't fucking kneel for the national anthem.
We need to talk less and we need to listen more. Well, if you talk less, then you can't listen more. You know what I mean? Because if nobody's talking, then there's nothing to listen to.
Did you guys see the news story about the congressman who told Colin Kaepernick just to leave the country if he just doesn't like it.
I mean,
here.
It's the same thing with like Megan Rapinoe. If you don't like what's going on here, I'm pretty sure there's plenty of countries out there who would love to have you.
It made me laugh because I seen on Facebook Marketplace a Colin Kaepernick jersey for sale for $50. And the guy said, it's only worn 10, 12 times. I said, why the hell would you wear it 10 or 12 times?
Okay, but getting off of politics, I know this podcast, some people probably turned it off. It said, like, I don't want to hear this stuff.
Don't worry, it's still getting funnier.
I was looking at the whole picture of what performances were out there. Was the U.S. women's soccer team performance not good? No, that would not be accurate. They played their tails off, and they won a freaking World Cup.
Yep.
Okay, great. But when they threw in all these other messages on top of that, especially the one about pay, I'm like, come on, that's not the message that needs to be portrayed in sports.
College athletes aren't getting paid. Where's that at? Yeah. You ain't going to talk about that. They're not getting paid.
Right. Yeah, they are. They're getting scholarships.
Yeah.
But that's not representing themselves, Biff.
Yeah, they're just pissed off because they can't get Nike deals.
So, okay, moving away from that. We're going to take a break from movies this week. We know that I'm sure a lot of our fans out there like listening to movies, but this week we're going to go, because we miss football so much, it's coming up so fast, but we miss football so much. I just can't wait until it starts. We're going to have the Crazy Horse Monument of Super Bowls. Yeah. Top 3 Super Bowls in the past 30 years. We're not going to go all the way back to like the beginning of time when the Super Bowl started. Back in 66 or 67. We're not going back there because a lot of those Super Bowls back in the day were not the most exciting. They really weren't. You talk about like what the 72 Dolphins did with their only undefeated team in history to win a Super Bowl. It was a very boring Super Bowl. And maybe because the Redskins were in it too. But anyway, You talk about what the Super Bowls were back then. There was probably maybe like 1 or 2 good Super Bowls, if that. And so we're going to go back to 1985, and that's going to be the point we'll go back to. But other than that, we're going to go ahead. And Biff, I want you to go ahead and start off with your number 3.
Number 3.
Yeah.
Any freaking Super Bowl Tom Brady was in.
What? Number 3?
Yep, my number 3 is any Super Bowl Tom Brady was in. Because I count them all as one.
Even the ones he lost?
That's just part of Tom Brady's rapport.
Okay.
Okay.
You're throwing me off here right now.
Why?
Because we're talking about like more specific games in general. Like which one stood out to you more? I'm not talking about like overall, because if we were talking about that, a lot of Tom Brady ones are in there.
Then the New England Patriots versus the Atlanta Falcons.
Okay.
All
right. Well, they were down 28-3.
That's fair.
Epic comeback, win it in overtime. It's fair. I'll take that. I could see that.
It's not in my top 3, but it
wouldn't be in my top 3. But I would definitely put it on that. I would put it on that.
I guarantee you, all 3 of mine are not in your top 3.
Well, they might be. You never know. But my number 3 is John Elway getting off the schneid, beating the Packers. I love that game, 31-24, showing he had it all. That's my number 3. I thought, what a fantastic game. When you look at what he had done in previous Super Bowls and how the Broncos were just dismantled.
One of the worst Super Bowls is the 49ers versus Broncos.
Yeah,
Super Bowl.
My God.
It's one of the worst.
Yeah, and then for him to get off the snide against a team with the Packers, I really like that. And so the number 3 for me is the Broncos and the Packers. John Elway getting his win 31-24.
So number 3 for me is a Super Bowl that's probably forgotten, but it is the Super Bowl between the Rams and the Titans.
Oh, good.
The Rams and Titans won, where this is a Titans team that this year was the Music City Miracle that happened for them. They beat the Bills in the wild card round, and they go all the way to the Super Bowl with it to face the Rams and NFL MVP Kurt Warner.
Greatest show on turf.
Super Bowl champ Kurt Warner in the Rams. And the Titans go down 16-0, and you're thinking, here we go. Here go the Rams. They're easily going to win this. And the Titans freaking storm back and make it a tie game. And then, of course, the Rams go up 23-16, and the Titans are driving down the field at the end of the game. and you have the catch by Kevin Dyson, and he's trying to reach for the goal line, and he misses
Mike
it
Jones,
just by
Mike Jones makes the quote unquote the tackle and secures the win about a yard short of the end zone. I like that game. I put it in my honorable mentions. I really like that. And we listened to Barstool Sports this past weekend, and they were pardon my take. They were talking with the Titans coach at the time, Jeff Fisher, and they were talking about that. And he related those situations when he was the head coach of the Titans. Very, very good game. Deserves to be up on top there. I like that. But that was an honorable mention for me. Don't forget, Isaac Bruce has a clutch touchdown in the fourth quarter that seals that win, that basically seals the win for them, and definitely sits up top three, definitely.
All right, Biff, you're number 2.
1992 Washington Redskins, Buffalo Bills.
Wow.
What?
Where did that come from?
I am a huge Darryl Green fan.
Yeah?
Yep. And my mom is a huge Art Monk fan before I could decide.
Hey, we had Coach Smith on the show, and he's a huge Art Monk. He's got a really nice autographed picture of Art Monk on his desk at school. It's pretty cool. I like it.
Before I could even decide.
What?
Yeah.
That's Super Bowl.
Yep.
Before that wasn't I could even close.
Okay.
But I'm just saying that. Okay. No,
what,
go ahead.
You said top Super Bowls in our opinion.
Okay.
And you didn't say it had to be close.
You got me.
But yeah, before I could even
fucking
decide.
Stupid, though.
Hey, you know what?
I'm just kidding. I'm sorry. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
You heard that? Oh no, I got to keep it to my inside voice then.
No. Before I could even decide the difference on what team I should like, my parents were both Redskins fans.
Well, I would have figured. Okay. No, it still makes sense. Yep.
Yeah. My number 2, Super Bowl 43, Steelers over the Cardinals, 27-23. Huge play in that game. CJ would know this.
Plaxico Burress.
Yeah, and you still say to this day it wasn't a catch.
No, not that. The James Harrison 99-yard return for a touchdown.
Oh, God.
How clutch was that play?
It was right before halftime.
Dude, James Harrison is a freaking man. I don't care what anybody says. I love that guy. Wish he was still playing. I would have loved to have seen him get his Super Bowl. I don't know. I liked it. I like that game. I think that's a very, 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 very good game to put up there in terms of excitement.
Well, he took my number 2 out of my mouth because, I did. I like that Super Bowl. You're talking about, once again, Kurt Warner. He comes with the Cardinals, and you get to see Larry Fitzgerald on a national stage. And Larry Fitzgerald is a young wide receiver at the time. And what did he do in the Super Bowl? He did a lot for the Cardinals. And at one point, the Cardinals were down 16-7. I think it was 16-7 at one point. And then they stormed back. And what did the Cardinals do? Well, they get a touchdown like on a 60 or 70-yard pass slant to Larry Fitzgerald, and he takes it all the way to the house. And I'm sitting there as a Steelers fan going, what the hell, man? What just happened? And so when I see that, I go, okay, well, the Steelers have one chance, and it's by Big Ben. And he completes a 95-yard drive to a touchdown to Santonio Holmes. It's in the back corner of the end zone.
When you look at that pass and that rollout, that scramble, and he gets rid of that ball, I still say to this day, I'm not sure he had both toes down. But CJ knows that I freaking bust his chops about that all the time. But I didn't think he had both toes down.
And he did. And it was in triple coverage that he caught that in the back of the end zone. Yeah. So not only did you get a Super Bowl that went down to the wire, you had a Super Bowl that was against two teams that no one would expect face each other.
Right.
And you had the Cardinals go to their first ever Super Bowl, and they put on a show.
Yes,
they really did. They didn't just fall over, because at one point it did look like they were falling over because it was 9-0, and then all of a sudden, blam! It's almost over. No, it was 10-0, and then of course you had the James Harrison interception, but it turned out to be one of the best games I've ever seen. But at the end of the day, the Steelers got their 6th Super Bowl and were the first team to ever have 6 Super Bowls until this past year.
Yeah, who wouldn't want James Harrison on their team?
Need to take the soul out of these young men.
Take the soul out of these young men. That was a great story, taking the soul out of these young men.
So
I love that.
Biff, you're number 1.
I can't be biased, so I'm not going to say the Saints. I'm going to say Super Bowl 50.
50.
Denver Panthers.
Okay.
I like it.
Okay.
Because
I like it.
you had a defensive player win the MVP,
Okay.
Von Miller.
Yeah.
And then you have Peyton Manning riding off in the sunset with a Super Bowl.
Yeah. Not playing his best
On
football
Von
at the time.
Miller because he's carrying him to that.
Well, okay.
Hey, not playing his best football at the time, but what do they talk about him being a field general and a team manager and managing the offense? Yeah, I could see that fitting up there. Yeah, shoot. I with the way the Panthers were playing at that time, and for them to come out, and you could tell right away from the tone that was set right away, it was like, holy cow, Denver's for real. They had their defense was phenomenal, man.
As you can tell, I have my top 3 with 2 teams that are competitors of the New Orleans Saints.
Yeah.
And losing in that those Super Bowls. So.
Also that Super Bowl, I have to agree to an extent that, Carolina, you look at the championship games that happened 2 weeks before, you have Denver barely beating Tom Brady because they didn't convert the 2-point conversion. And if Steven Gostkowski makes an extra point, that goes into overtime. And then you have the Panthers.
It's over from there.
Yeah. Tom will get the ball.
2-yard Tom's going to take you right down the field.
To Carolina.
And there ain't a damn thing you can do about it.
Where they absolutely dismantled the Arizona Cardinals in the championship game. It was over at halftime.
Yeah.
Luke Kuechly had his 3rd interception return for a touchdown in the playoffs that game. So you have to look at that and you go, okay, Cam Newton's the NFL MVP. He's going to put on a show. And I'll still never forget the play that Von Miller strip sacks him and the ball is on the ground and Cam Newton looks at the ball on the ground and he doesn't jump on it.
Says, I could break a nail. If I put my hand in there, I could break my nail.
Exactly. And I go, what the hell are you doing? This is the biggest stage of the biggest game.
I think that was the tone setter. I think that was...
He was scared.
I think that message was clear that Denver was here, and you thought you had played your best football. Well, you're going to have to play better to beat us. And I thoroughly enjoyed watching the Cardinals get thrashed in that situation. That was one... I'm not a huge Denver fan. Panthers.
Yeah.
I'm not a huge... Panthers fan. I'm not a big Cam Newton guy, and I'm not even a great Broncos fan. But I just thoroughly enjoyed watching them thrash.
I enjoy defense whenever it looks
I like
to be
good defense too. I mean, we when we sat down and we started talking about the best teams, the Bears dismantling the New England Patriots in the Super Bowl back in 1980, and poor Tony Eason had fear in his eyes and stuff like that.
And Steve Grogan not having a chance either.
Right, yeah. That was not an exciting game. It was a dominating game by the Bears, but it's not an exciting game. And this definitely had some excitement in it. I liked it. I think that's a good pick. I think that's definitely a good pick.
Fine.
Okay, well, I think... What?
Y'all actually agree with one.
Yeah, I like that.
Okay, I can agree to that, but the one that I'm sure Coach and I are going to agree on is Super Bowl 49.
49
is our number one.
Malcolm Butler's interception at the end of the game, picking off a Seahawk pass. I don't know. There's something about that game. The pass leading Javon Kearse's pass leading up to that play. When you look back at what the Patriots had done in other Super Bowls and having the David Tyree pass, the Plaxico Burress, the whole nightmare. They were the first 16-0 team to be in the Super Bowl, and then they freaking lose to Eli Manning and the Giants. And it was just very, very frustrating and stuff like that. With this one, when Javon Kearse makes that catch, you're thinking to yourself, yeah. Oh no, it bounced up in the air.
Bounced
up in the air,
and he lands on his back.
Yeah, Malcolm Butler looks like he makes a great play, and it ends up he's landing. The ball lands right on his chest.
That's right. Yep.
He makes the catch, and you're thinking to yourself, as a Patriots fan, you're like, holy cow,
again.
This shit is happening again. And when the season's over and stuff like that, and then the documentaries start coming out, and when CJ and I were talking about this on our ride home back from Atlantic City this past weekend, we were talking about the show that they came out with called Do Your Job, and I don't know if it was an NFL Films or an ESPN thing or whatever it was, but when you look at that and you look at their preparation to get to the Super Bowl and to get down to that play, it is uncanny that one play. And everybody says, why didn't they run the ball? Why didn't they run the ball? Well, I know, but at that time,
and Coach can attest to this, it's a lose-lose situation, however you look at it from a coach's perspective. Because what happens if you run it and you don't get it?
Okay, do you run it and possibly get stopped again?
Or you pass it and you don't get it?
Do you drop back, take the sack?
You're still down by 4 points.
Yeah, still down by 4.
That's a touchdown, though. You got to get a touchdown.
They needed the touchdown.
Wah.
Yeah, they needed a touchdown.
Do some basic math there, Biff.
Right, and you
know me in school. I didn't do math.
You did Matt, not the H.
Matter. I don't know how to do matter.
The reason why I say, as Coach says, the end of the game is what makes this game great. Yeah. But what I loved about this game was the story that these two teams had.
Yeah.
You had the Seahawks, who in the previous year not only beat the Broncos, but they probably beat them in one of the worst Super Bowls we've ever seen.
They just flat out dominated
against the Broncos.
They dominated Denver. It wasn't even.
8.
It wasn't even worth watching. It was.
That was just like this year's Super Bowl.
I don't.
Do you want to watch somebody get slaughtered or only make field goals?
Right, but it's not a blowout. It's not a blowout. And each game, this year's Super Bowl, it was within reach. A big play sets you up. And fortunately for the Patriots, they make the big play with Gronk.
Yeah.
But at that time, they made the big play with Gronk earlier in the game, and it was like one of his only catches earlier. Gronk didn't even play in that Super Bowl, did he?
No, he did.
He did? He makes the big catch on the sideline.
Yeah, but anyway, as I was saying, the story of the Patriots was that Tom Brady has now gone back to the Super Bowl. And are we going to get the Tom Brady who doesn't produce perfectly in the Super Bowl in the past couple of times? Or are we about to see the greatest quarterback to ever play the game?
Hey,
and not only
we're looking at a man who run a better 40-yard dash in his 40s than he did when he first came into the league. So
okay, but what I'm saying is that he threw the ball 50 times against the Legion of Boom, and the Legion of Boom is still considered one of the best defenses to ever play.
Yeah.
And it was a game that went down to the wire. And Tom Brady, at the time, he overcome the largest fourth quarter deficit, which was 10 points at the time. And, of course, that has since been broken by none other than Tom Brady and the Patriots. But the Super Bowl was good all the way into the end, and it never stopped. And then, of course, you finally start to get a sense that, Tom's the best ever.
He threw 4 touchdowns. He threw 50 passes in that game. He was 37 of 50 for 328 yards and 4 touchdowns.
And this is a team, the Seahawks, who dismantled the Broncos the previous season against one of the most prolific offenses in NFL history. This was a Broncos offense that dominated a lot of teams offensively. Yeah. And the Seahawks did that against them.
Yeah. And it was a comeback by the Seahawks, because at one point it was 24-14, and then
the Patriots had to come back.
Oh, I'm sorry, you're right. It was 24-14, and Seattle.
Bobby Wagner just picked off Tom Brady. Doug Baldwin gets a touchdown on a pick play over Darrelle Revis. Don't forget that Darrelle Revis once played for the New England Patriots.
Isn't that scary?
Yeah. And they won the Super Bowl with him.
Would Lynch have 100 yards rushing? I mean...
And then, of course, the play that nobody talks about, the unsung play, is the tackle on Marshawn Lynch to stop him from getting into the end zone.
Yep.
Dante Hightower bench pressing Russell Okung off of him and literally falling to the ground and tackles his leg down and stops him from getting in the end zone.
Yeah.
That play doesn't happen. The Patriots don't win the Super Bowl.
No.
And so the game was just excellent all the way up until the end, and it's still remembered to this day as my favorite and most exciting.
I think on Crazy Horse Mountain, that's got to sit up there number 1. I think it does. There's just no two ways about it. It's got to be up there.
My honorable mention, though, you've already said your honorable mention.
Yeah.
My honorable mention, though, is another Patriots Super Bowl against the Eagles. 2 years ago when I watched that Super Bowl, once again, it was back and forth, and it was just a great Super Bowl to watch. And still, in my mind, the ballsiest call ever, the Philly special to happen. The ballsiest call you could ever make, because Bill Belichick is the one to do that shit to you. and they made that play work, and it was awesome seeing Nick Foles catch a touchdown.
Nick Foles running to the sideline, not even asking for a play, just saying Philly, Philly, and then he goes,
"You want to run Philly, Philly? Yeah, let's do it." Yeah, like, and it goes back and forth and back and forth. There's no defense whatsoever. There's none. And what is the game-defining play? A sack strip by Brandon Graham. And if that didn't happen, I still see the Patriots winning because Tom was on fire that game.
Oh, my God. How many yards did he throw for?
For over 500 yards. I think it was like 522 yards he threw for.
Wow.
And when I saw that, I go, man, this is a great Super Bowl offensively. But that's what you want to see because you see what happened in the Eagles versus Patriots Super Bowl compared to the Rams versus Patriots Super Bowl. Not much offense, a lot of defense compared to a lot of offense and not much defense. And that's what made the game so special. But it's still not one of the best because
540. Oh, no, he didn't. I'm sorry. Never mind. Go ahead.
So that's what made that so special, but not as good as 49 compared because, like, the score was great and the action was great.
Yeah.
But you still have your honorable mention, Biff. So I already know what's coming out, so go ahead and say it.
I'll just start with the national anthem with Carrie Underwood. I mean, come on now. And then you have the halftime show by The Who.
Yeah.
What?
By The Who.
Who?
You got the 2010 Super Bowl, New Orleans, Indianapolis.
Yeah.
You got the game-sealing interception by Tracy
Tracy
Porter.
Yeah.
Reggie Bush and Pierre Thomas in the backfield, and the legendary Drew Brees.
Yeah.
And Marcus
Don't forget
Colston.
Jeremy Shockey, man. You can't forget him.
I was going to get there, Jeremy Shockley.
Shock.
And then one of my favorite linebackers, Jonathan Vilma.
Jonathan Vilma, even though he should have been arrested. No, I'm kidding.
You know what?
I'm sorry.
Brett Favre had it coming.
Brett Favre had it coming. Huh?
Oh, man, that's rough.
And
so did Kurt Warner.
Hey, I still like Scott Fujita. Do you even know who that is?
Yeah, I know. He was one of your linebackers.
Yep.
Greg Williams led your defense as your defensive coordinator. You also had Will Smith as one of your defensive tackles.
Yes, sir. Scott Shanley.
Malcolm Jenkins was one of your safeties back then.
Malcolm Jenkins.
Yeah, and Tracy.
Except it was Roman Harper and Darren Sharper.
Yeah, but he was a sub-in for them in
Don't
packages.
Don't you holler at me in that tone of voice.
Sorry.
Oh, I was going back to that. Brady was 28 of 49 for 505 yards against Philadelphia. But the big telltale sign of that, the 500, was he had 3 picks that night. And if you want to beat the Patriots, you find a way to catch Tom Brady's football, and you got yourself a chance for sure.
Oh, yeah, no question. But I do agree on your Saints one, though. It's a Saints Super Bowl that we haven't – like, the Saints these past 2 years have lost on some straight bullshit. And, like –
I want to cry.
And when I see that what they can do in the Super Bowl on a national stage is great, I still look back at that and I go – they beat an Indianapolis Colts team that should have won that game handedly. Mm-hmm. But what was the most defining play in that game? The onside kick to start the second half. To start the second half,
and
you
that,
do an onside
that
kick.
Play defined Sean
Payton as a head coach. Exactly. Yep. And I'll never forget it. And that's why he's still a great coach to me, because he's just like Doug Peterson, and he has the balls to call something that not a lot of coaches will say, no, we need to play it safe here. We're playing to lose. When Sean Payton goes, no, I want to fucking win the Super Bowl, man. And I'm going to onside kick to start the second half, and you did, and you got it back. Who was the one to recover it? Do you remember?
No, I don't. I think it was our fullback, honestly.
So, but anyway, you do that, and you have yourself a great storyline. So, Super Bowls, we love football, and we want to be able to.
But where does John Wick fit into the Super Bowl shuffle here, huh?
With his pencil on the sideline.
Hey, maybe we ought to do best halftime shows one of these days.
I don't watch the halftime show.
Katy Perry riding the giant tiger.
No, it's the left shark. What do you mean? Left shark.
Left shark.
In the Super Bowl, that literally
No, I'm not watching the Sharks. I want to watch Katy Perry ride a giant freaking on-fire tiger.
On-fire tiger. Like the one on your arm, the new tat on your arm, looked pretty good.
Yeah.
Covered up that bitch-ass deer you had.
Hey, that was my first tattoo.
You know, that's not good for you. It's getting your tattoo sunburned.
After I've had it for so long, it's okay though.
Yeah.
So as I said, we're really excited for football, and we can't wait.
53 days, man.
We're taking a break this week from movies. We'll get back next week, I promise, because it is a great segment that I love to talk about. But finally, to move on to the last segment of the night is 6 beers, of course. Let Coach take care of it. I'm going to put on the porno music now and get it started. Stupid ads. I should have waited.
Don't you hate that? I hate those damn ads. When I see that comes up.
Well, how do you think these people are paying for this?
It's called brewery jazz, though. Who the hell is paying?
I know.
Evidently a baby licking his foot.
Before I start, though, once again, send us your list for top Super Bowls. Send us your list for top action movies. Because guess what? I've said it before. We'll either throw it in the trash or we'll say it on the show.
Hell, if you've got some good ideas on some beers to try, just...
Yeah,
exactly.
Anybody out there?
We live in a valley that is covered with beer.
There is literally 20 breweries that I can think of within like a 50-mile radius.
So, as we said, find us at thepubqm@gmail.com, okay?
Yes, find us out there. Come on, talk to us. Let us know what you have.
No perverse pictures, please.
Yeah, no dick pics. We don't need any of that
I'll just
stuff.
send them to Biff if he wants to see
them.
them.
Biff will like him.
I'll grade him on a scale of 1 to 10.
And he'll probably get a tattoo of the best one on his arm somewhere. Get it on his butt cheek or something. All right, let's get down to this first one. Okay, so in our new segment with 6 beers, we got John Riggins 4th and 1. It's called John Riggins 4th and 1 Pilsner. It's a 4.4% alcohol by volume, made right here in nearby Winchester, Virginia, by Escutcheon Brewing.
I've always wanted to try this.
Did you hear that? That sounds wonderful. Listen to this. That'll come next. 4th and 1, John Riggins 4th and 1 Pilsner. 4th and 1 Pilsner. I'm excited. I love John Riggins, man. I was not a Redskin fan, but I love me some John Riggins.
My dad's a huge John Riggins fan.
Wow, it looks like I'm pouring orange juice into there. Oh, my God.
I can drink a bunch of those. Right there, John Escutcheon Brewing. I don't know if it's my fridge temperature. I got it down to 37. It's pretty good. I'll tell you what, that is a fine beer right there. What do you think?
I could drink a couple of them.
I could,
a couple 12 of them.
Yeah, I mean, it's pretty good.
Yeah.
I wouldn't disagree. It's pretty good.
I didn't know John Riggins was much of a beer drinker, but...
What, are you kidding me?
Any of football players are... Just ask Johnny Manziel.
Oh, yeah. I like that. I like that a lot.
Loosen up.
Loosen up is what it says. It's got John Riggins' signature autograph. I love that. That's one of the... Yeah, that was... I want to say that's
a Buccaneer.
No, it's a Miami Dolphins.
Is it?
I think it's when he makes that big run in one of the Super Bowls. But I like that. Definitely good beer. Holy cow. I like that a lot. John Riggins, 4th and 1 Pilsner, Escutcheon Brewing. Right here in Winchester, near Winchester. Wow. Very good beer. I like that one a lot. Next up, Port City, Optimal Wheat. Now, we had a Port City Porter a couple of weeks ago, and we really enjoyed the Port City Porter. Patrick, who was doing the show that night, enjoyed it as much as anybody else. But this is right out of Alexandria, Virginia. Port City Brewing Company, Optimal Wheat. It's a Belgian-style wheat, 4.9% alcohol by volume, brewed with spices. I like it when it says it's brewed with spices.
This one's for you, Pat.
Oh, it's a great pour. Great look. It's got a nice golden look to it. It's got a nice...
Why does it smell like bacon?
It better be
fucking good then if it's going to smell.
It literally smells like bacon.
You can definitely hit it here. It's got it's got like a clove spice to it. I like it. I like it. You know what? I think this is one of those wheats where you could put an orange slice in that thing. Just like a Blue Moon, like a Belgian style Blue Moon.
What is that aftertaste?
That's what I'm trying to figure out.
That's the spice. I think it tastes. It's got a little clove taste to it, doesn't it?
It's not like that one the other time where it said strawberry taste and we couldn't fucking taste the strawberries. The schnozberries taste like schnozberries.
What the hell is 2P final gravity?
I don't know. But when it says
it's
maybe
for your
2-ply?
pour.
Huh?
It's for your pour. 11.5P original gravity with a full bottle.
Huh.
Maybe it means two-ply. I don't know.
Established in 2011.
I like it, though.
15 bitterness units.
15 IBUs. Yeah, that means it's got low hop, a low level of hoppiness to it and stuff like that. It does say it's got spices.
Gives you
in
the
it.
jitters.
Hibbity-jibbities.
Yeah, I liked it though. This one's interesting. South Street Brewery, Satan's Pony. Gotta like the name, Satan's Pony. It's a Virginia original, brewed and bottled by South Street Brewery, Cooperstown Way, Arrington, Virginia. Arrington is down near where Liberty University and Amherst is.
Yep, I go down there a little bit.
5.3%, little beefier. This one also has a low
Beefier?
hoppiness.
Beef.
When I say
it's going to be more than bacon.
Did you hear the? Look at that.
Oh my God! Look at the steam coming out. You definitely got your chiller on.
Nice. Look at that. It's got a smoky look to it. I'm scared a little bit.
Oh my God.
Oh my God! It looks like you're freaking pissing. You're not pissing clean. I can tell you that.
It's an amber ale, and they call it an old school amber ale. It's a throwback beer from South Street Brewing in Arrington, Virginia. So let's take a look at that. Ooh. Got a great smell to it. Got a great smell. Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. Very good. Ugh. What are you doing? What are you talking about? Ugh. Ugh. Enjoy the flavors. Extend yourself beyond freaking Pabst Blue Ribbon and your natty ice.
Pabst
I can't stand Pabst.
You know what I notice about this one? And it's just me. But I
you might be alone on yourself here.
Oh, no,
I'm not too fond of this one.
But what I'm saying with this is, doesn't it make you feel like you're a little full, like it's got really high CO2 or something in it?
I guess so, but I guess I didn't pour it right because I missed a lot of it, and
it does have it has a rather large head, but. I was excited about this next one. This one's from Charlottesville, Virginia. It's called Three Notch Brewing Company's Hydraulian Red. And I really like, if you go back to red ales and I look at George Killian's Irish Red, that is a great beer.
That was a damn Red Bull. Put that thing away.
The only way you're drinking that Red Bull is if you're mixing it with vodka.
Sorry, I didn't know. I knew someone who was a pussy.
Excuse me.
Hey, I drink lime sugar-free Red Bull.
Sorry, do you also mix Splenda with that?
No.
You put your finger in your ass when you do it too? What are you doing?
Only when I pee.
Come on.
What?
What?
The show got weird. What the?
Look at that.
Oh, it tastes like an old cigar.
It tastes like a what? An
old cigar.
An old stogie.
Hydraulian Red.
Oh.
IBU's not just a little bit higher. It has
22? Oh no.
Yeah, 22 IBUs. Yeah, so it's not
and
too.
It's 5.3.
Yeah, you know what? That does not.
That doesn't roll off the tongue there, man.
Does it not taste like an old cigar?
Oh my God, I feel like I'm in a cigarette lounge or something. Oh God.
I got goosebumps growing out of my
That tastes like the same thing that you would get from a cigarette.
That's not a very heady beer, is it? I don't smoke when I drink, so. But you know what? I wonder if it is because it says it has a fire department on the front. It has some sort of firing. You see it? Hydraulian Red. See the label? I like the label and everything. Great presentation.
Got 3 fire axes. Charlottesville.
3 notched. All right, I was excited about this one as well. The next one up is called Little Hellion from Brothers Craft Brewing Company in Harrisonburg, Virginia. Down there by old JMU.
So we had Satan's Pony, and now we got Little Hellion.
Little Hellion. So we're not doing a double thing. We don't have any religion going on here. Oh. Oh, that's much better pour right there. I'm sorry, but I have to burp really loud. Oh, sorry.
Oh, my God.
That echoed in my ear.
I'm telling you,
Stop touching your nipples, man.
That's South Street.
Hold.
That South Street had freaking a very maybe we just got a bad bottle. Maybe it got a little too much CO2 in that thing.
Not much for you, Bill?
No.
You gotta drive home. That's right.
I gotta chase him with Red Bull. That one's not bad.
Little different taste to it.
Oh my God, that's a lot better.
The finish is not sharp or anything like that. Where are you with that, Biff? I don't know.
I'd give that. I'd drink it.
Try a little bit more. Try a little bit more on that. I don't know how to quite put that flavor on there. I'm not sure where the flavor's at on this. It starts out strong and then it just kind of dies off, like it's not over the top. But definitely, this John Riggins Saskatchewan Brewing, 4th and 1, definitely leading the pack.
Yeah.
Definitely.
Oh, Harrisonburg.
Yeah. Little Hellion is what it's called.
He just said that.
I know he did, but I wanted to repeat it. Yeah.
You're right, Mom.
Sorry, Mom.
What do we got for number 5?
By Brothers Craft Brew.
Yeah, number 5. No, 6. I thought this was 5.
This is number 6.
6. We got 5.
Oh, the Port City's already done,
The Port City Optimal Wheat, definitely a great beer. That might be number 2. I really like that Pilsner. I like that 4th and 1 Pilsner from John Riggins. Right out of our hometown, Saskatchewan Brewing. Wow. If I find this locally, I'm going to definitely be drinking some John Riggins 4th and 1.
They sell them at Martin's.
Yeah, well, hell, that's where we shop, buddy. But I will tell you this: if there are fans out there and they want to find a wide selection of beer, if you don't get to Total Wines and check out their selections of beers all around the United States, you're not tasting beer. If you go right for your Budweiser, your Bud Lights, or your Natty Lights, or your Bushes and your Busch Lights, and you're missing some of these beers that we're talking about, you don't know what you're missing.
So when are we doing IPAs?
We're going to do a segment on IPAs coming up in probably about 2 or 3 weeks.
There's one I want to try. It's a 8-point IPA or something like that.
Yeah. Well, what we're going to do with our IPAs is we're going to knock the bitters down, because most IPAs are very hoppy, and it's an acquired taste kind of thing. And so what we want to do is we're going to use citrus. We're going to use orange slices, and we're going to cut them with an orange slice just a little bit. And we're going to use distinct glasses. We're going to use, rather than our traditional cups that we use now, we're going to use them with pre-seasoned orange slices. And then we're going to pour the IPAs in there and see if we can't get a really high-quality beer out of that. But this next one, the last one, is called Black Ox. Black Ox.
I bet this thing
and it is a rye porter. And this bad boy, this is right here in Old Ox Brewing, and it's in Ashburn. And if I'm not mistaken, Old Ox Brewing, they do our Route 11 chips down there at Old Ox. Oh, look at that.
Oh, my God.
I'm looking that pour. Look how dark that is.
Yeah.
It's a porter. And that's what they're supposed to be. They're supposed to be dark. And this one, I don't know. It's a great pour. I love the look of the can and stuff like that. In fact, the can looks like it has a label that's been attached to the can. But it comes from Old Ox Brewery right here in Ashburn, Virginia, which is about 40 miles away. And great package.
Yeah,
you see the label on the can? Yeah.
It's got their phone number on it.
Yeah, Old Ox Porter. An Old Ox Porter.
Oh, it smells like coffee.
This smells like coffee.
Oh, my.
Is that a Frappuccino?
No, this is good. It's, if you're looking at your total beers and you're drinking Guinness, and Guinness is a great pour if you've never had Guinness. Guinness is a great pour. And so when you look at porters like that, and I like this. I like it.
Tastes just like black coffee.
Yeah. It has a roasted taste to it. It has very, very nutty roasted nut taste to it. I like it. I like it a lot.
And very roasted.
Yeah,
very roasted.
But here's the thing, and this is something I've tried. Drink that down there, Biff. Drink that down.
Yes, Pappy.
Yes. And let's try something here. Let me see your cup. Let me try this. Because one of my favorite drinks, and we got this little local place called Nana's Irish Pub. And Nana's Irish Pub makes a half and half. And their half and half, they blend. And I'll tell you what, when they blend that porter, that stout, and they and they mix it with an ale.
You got to drive home. I would not try that.
It is very, very tasty. I love freaking Nana's half and halves, and it's made with Guinness, and it's
only
made
half
with
and
Farm
half
Ale.
I'd drink is a freaking Arnold Palmer.
You try that, buddy. Try it. I guarantee you'll enjoy it. Try it. That's a blend. That's not bad, is it?
What the hell happened to the taste of the porter?
Yeah.
Seriously, just take a little sip. It's like
down.
gone.
It knocks down
It's
that.
gone.
It knocks down that bitter level a little bit. Softens
It
it.
doesn't taste like coffee.
I know it doesn't
Exactly.
taste exactly.
And,
Yeah.
and you do that, and I'll tell you what, you can make yourself a nice beer. And the bartenders over there at Nana's Irish Pub. And by the way, if you don't go to Nana's Irish Pub and you get their shepherd's pie, I'm telling you what, you will have found a meal that you will come back to over and over and over again. Nana's Irish Pub in Middletown,
Getting
Virginia.
the coffee beans again.
Yeah.
If it's like 72 degrees down here and you're cold.
All right,
Hair is standing straight up.
So let's go back. Let's go back and take a look at what we had today. We went John Riggins
wins.
John Riggins Pilsner. I like the Port City wheat. Remember, Port City had that porter that was really good, very smooth. We did that a couple weeks ago. We are not sold. We are not sold on the 3-notched Hydraulian Red. Just not an acquired taste that we're into. South Street, Satan's Pony.
Nah.
Still not bad, but not one when you're going to sit down. Little Hellion had a little bit of a different taste to it.
That's probably my number 3.
Yeah, definitely number
other two
3.
just need to
And
go in
then
the
Black
trash.
Ox, the final one, Black Ox,
like
the
Wood Boogers.
porter. No, Wood Boogers is in a class by itself. Sorry, whoever brewed that. I'm sorry, but Wood Boogers is we as here at the pub talk do not recommend wood boogers. We do
Unless
not.
you've got that really weird taste.
Yeah,
buds and
unless you have that, you're going to step out.
Obviously,
and you're going to get that
it's selling if they're still selling it. But
Yeah. Hey, they bottled it, but I'm telling you what, home run today with John Riggins' 4th and 1 Pilsner, definitely Escutcheon Brewing right here and locally in Winchester, Virginia. Coming in at number 2, Optimal Wheat, and probably number 3, a tie between South Street, Satan's Pony, and Little Hellion. Those two probably dialed in, and I like the porter. I think if we could create a nice half and half with that porter, people would enjoy it. Old Ox Brewery. So there you have it. We're gonna get a photo. We're gonna put that up on Twitter. We're going to put our number 1 right out front.
The Pub QM. THEPUBQM on Twitter.
Yeah. Please, if you've tried the beers that we're talking about and you've...
Give them a try. We take every single
please.
picture every single week for the beers that we tasted.
We enjoy them. You got to get your bullshit lime thing out of the way there. Don't even put that up there. Fucker, I'll knock that shit out of the way for sure. And why is my camera looking the other way? Holy shit, what am I doing?
Were you taking selfies today, Coach?
He was selfieing.
Oh, my God. Coachy selfies.
I was
Jesus.
selfieing. I'm sorry, fellas, but there you go. Winner of this week's 6 beers, definitely John Riggins' 4th and 1 Pilsner, right here at Escutcheon Brewery. Very nice beer. Enjoyed my time. So there you have it, 6 beer segment. I enjoyed it.
Thanks for having me on again, guys.
Episode number 6 of
Biff.
Pub Talk.
It was good to have you. I don't know about
It's good to be back.
He's gonna waterboard us after this episode to allow us to be back on.
Yep.
Next episode.
Just sleep with one eye open.
Yeah. Gonna hear that motorcycle coming down the friggin' road. But episode number 6 of Pub Talk. Once again, find us on Twitter at the Pub QM. Send us your questions at our email, thepubqm@gmail.com.
Or just talk shit to us, please. Just send us
Please,
something.
we will roast you the fuck back.
If you want some redneckisms, follow the Biffo2 on Twitter.
Yeah, Biffo2, Big J54.
And then, once again,
Big
we're
J
on Spotify.
54 on Twitter.
We're also on Spotify. CJ's Pub Talk. That's what the username is under, so just look us up there. You should be able to see the beer mug and headphones, and the microphone is on the picture, so you know it's us. But that's going to wrap it up for us here today. Episode number 6, we're going strong. Biff, thank you for joining us once again. We hope to
good
see
having
you
you,
next
Biff.
week
Good to
again.
be back.
Yeah.
So, once again, thank you to everyone listening in. We hope you have a great Sunday. This will be up tomorrow morning, of course. We hope you have a great week, and we'll see you next week. But from all of us here at Pub Talk, CJ, Coach, and Biff,
hey.
we hope you enjoy. But there's some sports to watch, some beers to drink. Sit back, enjoy, and for a cool and crisp brew. Pop a top, pour a glass, and sip some liquid gold and enjoy. But hey, we hope you enjoy. But there's some sports to watch on the TV, so we got to get back to that and some beers to drink.
Not women's national team.
Grab a beer, drink responsibly, and enjoy life. See you later, guys.